Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Connect Show. I am one of your many hosts today, Kim Knock. We are on episode number 8 of season 4. Today, we are diving into the extraordinary world of small business owners. They're not always recognized for their efforts, and we can't wait to share their incredible stories with you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Heike with Idea Share Coaching. I help you take your ideas to your LinkedIn profile from blah to magnetic. And I'm sitting in for Charlene today. Appreciating small businesses is vital for our communities and economies. These enterprises often infuse unique character and personalized service into our daily lives, contributing to local growth and fostering innovation. By supporting small businesses, we help sustain a diverse and vibrant marketplace, showcasing the importance of entrepreneurial spirit.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tracy Champagne, and I'm super excited to be here. I don't always get to be here, so I'm super excited. A little bit background on me. I'm the owner of Small Business Milwaukee. I have an amazing fish fry guide and help run this Connect Show and the chamber, the Greenfield Chamber. So pretty excited to be here. And with that, we're off to the next episode that we're having today. We feature wasn't that good?
Yeah.
We feature small business owners beyond entrepreneurs. They are risk takers, dreamers, and community builders. Starting before dawn, brewing coffee. I've had a lot of coffee today, you guys, already. And diving in wholeheartedly, they strive to create an impact. Join us today and witness their inspiring journey on the show.
Supporting small business is essential for their success. You can help by shopping locally, recommending their services, and leaving positive reviews. I'm all about that. Consider frequenting small shops and eateries, attending local events, and promoting their products on social media. Offering your expertise or mentorship can also make a significant difference, assisting them in overcoming challenges. By actively engaging with and promoting small business, you can contribute to the growth and vitality of your community.
Before we move on to today's show, we want to give you a little background about the show. It started in 2021, 2 full years ago, in a small studio. The Connect Show is now on its 4th season. Wow. Tracy, you want to share some events?
We have some new events coming up.
Yes.
I don't even know about them.
Oh, you'll learn all about them right now.
Will.
So our first new event that we have coming up is the Connect Networking event, which is going to happen every 3rd Wednesday of the month from 5 to 7. Our next 2 that we have scheduled have themes. So the first one is Connect Giving, and it's going to be at the Wedding or Celebration Center, which just opened up with Derek Doobie. He was on the show. And we're going to ask that everybody bring in a dish to pass. It's going to be kind of like the Friendsgiving that we've had in the past, but it's Connect Giving this year.
Cute.
So we're totally looking forward to that. So we don't have any information posted about that, but we do have that little flyer you just saw. So put that down in your calendar, guys.
Be up before you know it.
Yep.
Yeah. So as Tracy mentioned, we asked that everybody bring a dish. Who does not love being creative in the kitchen? Well, I'm not a cook, but I'll find something.
Find that store where someone else was creative.
Yes, exactly. The Connect networking events are different in that we will always have a stage element and a mini show. You won't want to miss these once a month events starting next month. I am really excited.
And that's not the only new event that we're having. Every first Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central, we're holding a host forum on Zoom. So that's a free event. That's where if you're going to be a host, like any one of us or anybody else that comes on the show and is a volunteer host, if you want to get some tips, pointers, every month for an hour, we're going to talk about you hosting and how you can be your best host. So we're pretty excited about that.
That's awesome.
Then on the second Wednesday of the month at 11, we'll have a forum of the guests for anyone that wants to be a guest. So we'll have all the information for all of these events on our main site called connectmedia.live. RSVP for any of these events today.
Speaking of guests and hosts, the guests and the hosts on the show are all volunteers. If you would like to be a guest or host on the show, the process is pretty simple, and we'll teach you all the steps to be effective right here in this space. The benefits include getting in front of the camera, becoming a skilled interviewer, and best of all, promoting your business. Please contact us to get your spot on the show.
And while the Connect Show is a show created by volunteers, we are looking for your support to keep the show growing. Sponsorship on the Connect Show is a great way to get your business seen and support your peers. It can be a commercial, plugs in our newsletters, social media, or on our website. If you're interested in being a sponsor, contact John or Tracy at info@theconnectshow.com.
Thank you to our hosting sponsor, Expansive Workspace, from where we broadcast the Connect Show. Expansive is a wonderful place to work and great community to be a part of. In addition to Expansive, we have many other local businesses that help support the Connect Show, and we thank each and every one of them as well.
We have to give a very special thanks to MKE Video, aka John Taylor, who creates the show with all the video work and the editing that goes on behind the scenes. John also has a new community called Mind Body Abundance that you can see more on the link that he'll put on the screen. John should also have a quick video to show the Mind Body Abundance world.
That's super exciting. That show's coming up on
November 4th at Expo. The last time we had it, there was a ton of vendors there. I got some really good face masks.
Did you?
Yes. Really exciting.
Amazing.
But as always, we are thankful that you have come to watch The Connect Show. If you have a topic you think we should be discussing, email us at ideas@theconnectshow.com. Today, we are so excited to welcome our guest, Scott LeBeau. Thank you. And Diane Reiner, helping small business owners be the best they can by helping them find active business leads is the creme of the creme. Helping each other is what small business is all about.
The connection is better when it's interactive. So please add your comments in the chat on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. It's easy to find us. We'll bring up your comments and add them to the conversation during the live show, but you can also comment after the fact and have a conversation going that way. This is a great opportunity to get expert advice to help your business grow.
Speaking of growing your business, these business owners are not just growing their business, but helping the community at large. We have to thank last week's guests, Teresa Nemitz and Angelique Meadow, sending out positive vibes tangibly with cards and journals while helping small business owners relax, travel, and recharge are what we need more of in this world. Mm-hmm. We're on to the quote of the day. I thought it was a long one. I was looking at that. I was like, jeez. Nope. Here we go. I learned that a strong network is the ultimate shortcut to everything that you want to achieve. Melita Campbell.
I totally
agree with that.
Yes,
1,000%.
Yeah.
Especially for people that run networking events. You run a ton of networking events. Mm-hmm. Now Connect Show's running networking events again, which I love.
Right,
mm-hmm.
right.
And I think one of my favorite things with running networking events is I really get the opportunity to build an even stronger relationship with the attendees. I love attending networking events too. Like I've attended tons of Tracy's and
your own.
Now I'm running my own. I'm not able to hit up as many Zoom ones as I was like during the pandemic because I'm out and about doing many other things with all the people that I've met, but my network is really, that's what got me where I'm here today. I really believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I totally agree. I used to run my own networking events in Maryland too when I was out there, and just getting back into growing my network here locally since I moved back last year. But absolutely, there's actually a book out that's called "Your Network is Your Net Worth."
Right.
Because depending on who you know and who they can connect you with, your sphere can grow, your income can grow, and you can grow in other ways too, emotionally or with your skill set. So networking is so important.
It happens to be the very topic we're going to be talking about a whole lot today, by the way.
That's why I was like, I'm going to shut it now.
Yeah, exactly. And for those introverts out there, there are ways to network that are doable for introverts. Don't shy away from the topic. There are lots of tips online, or you can find other people that are more extroverted that can give you some tips on how they do their networking in person or online.
I was very introverted at networking events for a while, and it's interesting because extroverts seek out the introverts a lot. I notice at networking events, and they help ease them in. Or if someone's kind of standing off to the side, they help bring them in. Probably because they've been doing the networking a while,
Right.
but I like that tip though.
But that's actually
really
also a tip for an introvert. If you're going to an in-person event and you're the only one there, find someone else that's standing alone and start a conversation with them.
That's true.
Because you're helping each other out. You're meeting someone and they know exactly what you feel like because, well, they're in the same situation. Of being
Call them the
nervous.
wall huggers. Find a wall hugger and help them out. They're afraid.
And then,
that's
of course,
okay.
Yep. We've all been there at one point.
Absolutely.
At one point.
Absolutely.
Doing something. Oh, we're off to the question of the day. So when you first started out with your business, how did you find your clients? Why are you looking at me like that? Did your first method of finding your clients work as you expected, or did you have to pivot? This makes you think back all the way to when you started.
I look back at that because I started a lot with you. And then secondly, networking events. That is, you build a relationship with people. We're going to go into the classic line of working with someone you know, like, and trust, right? But that is really how it works. Like some of my clients from when I first started out my business are still with me today. And I started in 2021, and it might be minor the work that I'm doing for them, but they still have the trust and the feel for me. I'm finding a way to pivot back into that. I don't go to networking events to find clients, though. I should make that clear. That's not the reason that I do it, but I think we build a relationship and it works out organically.
Right.
And I kind of stopped taking on, more and more and more clients, and I'm ready to go back to it. So, yeah.
When I started as a business coach in 2013, I completely went overboard with the in-person networking events. I sometimes did 9 a week. And then what didn't happen was the follow-up. And that's really what you got to do is you meet someone, you got to follow up and then maybe have a conversation on the phone or in person just to really get to know that person. So I really had to lay off that and be more intentional. But anytime I would go to a networking event, it wasn't just to hand out my business cards. It was really, can I meet a new friend? Can I help someone? So something I personally enjoy at an in-person event is, talking to someone and they mention the kind of person they're looking for. And I'm like, you need to talk to so-and-so. And especially if they're at the event, that's really fun. But also after the fact then. But I pivoted to, fewer events and more follow-up. And then the whole thing shifted to LinkedIn, which is why that's what I teach now, is I teach how to use LinkedIn for networking. And it saves much on gas mileage. It saves on all the coffee shop expenses and the calories you carry around.
That's true.
But I still stick with some in-person events because I like that in-person contact. So that to me is important personally. I guess I'm somewhere in the middle of the introvert-extrovert continuum, and that just suits my personality.
I was told that that's an ambivert.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
And I'm very much that. So I can be extrovert at that networking meeting, and then I got to go be by myself for some time because I just got to release everything I just brought in because I try to give myself to people. So,
Right.
How about you, Tracy? You've been doing this a minute, so.
A minute. Well, when I first started, I started in the digital marketing world. So I started with building websites, doing social media. And I thought, well, how better to prove yourself than to make some sales online? Yeah, well, those people, they're not online. So I took a little bit to figure that out.
Yes, very good
Those
call.
people are not
Yeah.
online. The people that need a website or digital marketing are the people who are not online.
Yes.
So you have to find people who are not online to introduce them to online. So then I started doing networking events at Dr. Dog's on Greenfield or in Greenfield on 76 and Layton, which is now a Mexican restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a little room back there, and I would do LinkedIn training, Facebook training, Instagram training, and I met a good handful of people. I met Kim Hand with that.
Did you really?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then I started my journey because I was still running my other business where I couldn't get out of the house Monday through Friday from 6 to 6 at night. So I thought, how am I going to do this? I can't go to anything. I can't go anywhere. So I'll just make one myself and just see what happens.
That's how I started my breakfast networking.
Yep.
All start at 7:30 in the morning.
Mhm.
Well, when you're a mom of 2 kids that have to be taken to school,
Yep.
you can't go to those 7:30
Yeah.
a.m. So when you
Right.
can't find what you need, you create
Just
it
go
yourself.
create it yourself.
Right.
Yep.
And so I started one
Exactly.
for 9 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get a reasonable, like, good fluctuation. And a lot of them are parents dealing with the same thing I am.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know, like,
Absolutely.
I can't attend that 7:30 in the morning coffee, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to.
I
I
mean,
make
there's those
exceptions.
people. They're like, no, I like the timing of the 9 a.m. And I do definitely have people that come for that one. Too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. Mhm.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, it's a good thinker. Good thinking.
I think,
question.
I mean, it's funny how it really all ties right back into the same thing.
Mhm.
For a lot of it comes from networking. You're
Mhm.
not going to sit in your house by yourself and clients are just going to come to you.
Yeah.
Right.
If you have an at-home based
Right.
business, you know, if
Right.
you have a brick and mortar, you might have people just walking because they're curious, but
Yeah.
you have to
Mhm.
advertise or something. What are you doing? So
Right.
interesting.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah. So shifting again with the topics, as always, John's here running everything behind the scenes and making us all look good. John, do we have any comments in the chat? No, we do not. Well, audience, come on.
Tell us what
Use those fingertips. Send us some comments. All right.
And I think then we are ready with our first commercial video from Mr. John over there. Are you ready, Mr. John?
I've been living on a good life, living like it won't stop, giving you the best of me, but been living on a good life, living like it won't stop, giving you the best of me, but now I'm feeling like it's all gone, baby, where'd it go wrong? I thought it was
Here we go. Thank you, John. And I just totally blanked on her name. Charlene. There we go. We're going to welcome our first guest, Scott LeBeau. Remix. Jeez. Balancing his career day job with the birth of the new platform, Scott LeBeau, CEO of Milwaukee, Wisconsin-based OneSource, has long considered himself something of an opening outlier. And I was like, thank you. In both big bank and small business world, based on his drive to ask questions that are unpopular but necessary. Ooh, that's tough. Unpopular but necessary.
He said that over time, I noticed what I called inside out engineering, which is the banks designing products that make sense for them. He says, but when you go out into the marketplace, he recognizes the opposite need for outside engineering, which is discovering what the small businesses need. And I believe that OneSource Direct supports that.
Welcome to the show, Scott. So sorry for my jumbles.
Oh, it's quite all right. I have a British person writing this for me, so I have to, get used to a different language every now and then too.
Right, exactly.
that.
Exactly. Before we find out what OneSource Direct does, we're going to revert back to the audience question. How did you find your clients when you first started your business?
Okay.
And did it go as expected? Did you have to pivot? How did that go for you?
No, it didn't go as expected because initially when we started everything, we were looking to help community banks, knowing that they have a need for products and services and information. So as we got into this and I started talking to some of the people, we realized that a lot of their needs, really, when you boil it down, are very similar to small businesses. So going out and getting a list of small banks is pretty easy.
Yeah.
So I started working that, and I actually did a lot of the research by going to the websites themselves and pulling down contact information. But then as we started to migrate to help small businesses, it became a little bit more of a challenge. And buying a list is tough because a lot of the lists are outdated. And you buy a list and 50% of it isn't good. And so we did a lot of the work on our own, to the point where we have about 100,000 names in Excel right now.
Wow. I mean, that sounds more organic than when you kind of have to do it on your own. If you're buying a list, they're not going to want to talk to you. You're reaching out, you're finding the people that actually need you.
Right. And making sure that, again, what we're trying to do and who we're trying to help is who we're connecting with, because like you said, people are just going to, not want to deal with you. So,
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about, before we go to the second question, tell us a little bit about what One Source Direct does.
Well, when you think about like small businesses and the social media demands, the number of posts that you have to make, always staying in front of your customer, that takes a lot of time and effort. So really what we did is we try to automate the process. So if I need, let's say, marketing help, I can actually just go on the site, type marketing. When I hit submit, it will actually go out and connect you directly with any other marketers that are in our community. So, and then the marketing person can actually send out like tips or articles, videos, things of that nature directly to a small business owner, so they can focus on what they probably do best in their job and less on worrying about generating new leads or volume.
Important stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
So why did we build One Source Direct?
Well, being in banking, I've dealt with a lot of small businesses. Some of them I've actually had to shut down, which is a different process. But during that, I learned quite a bit in talking with the customers, because you understand what their pain points are.
Mm-hmm.
So was that several of my friends own small businesses as well. So sitting down, listening to their horror stories. And then honestly, I just got frustrated with internet searches, because in my roles, I've had to go out and look for different types of software, and it just becomes a pain. It's about the nicest way I can put it. So it was those things, and just sitting down, talking to a developer friend of mine one day. And then we just started the idea, and it just kept growing from there.
I love that.
I do too.
Started
really
from
good
the
to
ground all the way
Mhm.
up. It's a great way to go, because you know the full beginning, middle, and end of everything. So that's wonderful.
And it's not, go ahead, sorry.
And you understand the frustration for a small business owner trying to find that information and put it together.
Right. So many of them get caught in the fact I need, marketing so I can get revenue, so I can pay back a loan that I can't get because I have no money. So it's really kind of like, it's really
every entrepreneur's nightmare, right?
Right. It is. And, that's the worst thing as a banker, going out and telling a customer. It's like, you read business plans, you listen to them, listen to their stories, you see the passion, but ultimately it comes down to what you can do for them. And that is really hard to translate when you're approving a loan sometimes.
Absolutely. And the hardest part, I think, for the business plan for so many people is that end in mind. Where do you want it to end?
Yeah.
People don't want to think about that. They're just not thinking about right now. So interesting. So where do they go from where do we go from here?
Well, right now we just started a crowdfunding campaign. The actual platform is built, and it is live, and it is operational. But over the next few months, our plan is we have 7 enhancements already built and designed. And everything that we've done has been with a small business owner and a developer sitting in a room together. So it's not been, okay, let's just think about this. What do we think? And that's where that outside in comes from.
Yeah.
Let's talk to them and then work with the developers to build a platform.
To make it happen.
So hopefully over the next few months, we're targeting Canada and US initially to do that Vegas style soft open. And from there, we'll get the enhancements, and then it'll, be wherever.
Do you wish you could have done this earlier?
If I would have known everything I know now, yes. But the reality is I don't, and I've learned so much in the last, 4 to 5 years that technology has changed too. So I figure I'm right where I'm supposed to be at this point in time.
I like that answer.
Mm-hmm.
I like that answer. Not I shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
You didn't know then. Now you know. Now you're going to help other people.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I love that.
It seemed to be just such a natural migration from what I was doing in the banking world. So.
So if you could give one tip to any small business that would change their business instantly when they implement it, what would you give to a business?
I think the biggest thing is persistence, because, over the last, since we started this to now, I said, I wasn't a small business owner, but I felt a lot of the pain personally over the past couple of years. And I think just knowing that you're going to have those highs and lows, and trying to figure out how the smallest high can actually make up for all the, low lows. And just trying to keep that even temperament.
That's a great tip. I mean, most people don't, most entrepreneurs will continue with the follow through,
Mhm.
but that's what kind of weeds them out. That
Right.
not having the persistence is going to probably shut you down.
Right, because they know what they've built, but they don't know how to do maybe not how to do the marketing or understand some basic accounting things and things of that nature. So I think that's where their frustration comes from.
Mhm.
You know, it's really easy to give up then.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
because of the product or service, it's the ancillary stuff.
It's
It
always
is.
easier to give
Well,
up.
there's so much to learn too,
Mhm.
and that process, and it changes so quickly because of computer
Mhm.
generated stuff. And we look at AI now. There's
Right.
so many things influencing marketing and keeping up with advertising, and then just running the business in itself. If you're a solopreneur or whatever, to
Right.
get to that level, you can hire somebody.
Right, think about it. I mean, what,
Generating income.
yeah, I mean, Google uses 200 factors in their algorithm to rank your website. I mean, how many people know what those are? We use 2 or 3. That's it.
Exactly.
And it's just
Exactly.
simplicity.
Exactly.
Finding ready to buy business leads is what small business owners dream of. Thanks for joining us
Thanks for
today,
having me.
Scott. And do you have an offer event you'd like to share with the audience?
We will be running an offer for the show, so we'll be posting it out through our network and everything like that, especially for like businesses in the Milwaukee area. So we
Amazing.
will be getting that to you shortly.
Amazing. That sounds
Great.
great.
And we'll also have that on our page of our website as well today.
Which is theconnectshow.com/Scott, LEBEAU. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely
Nice to meet you.
wonderful to have you. And we are on to our second small business segment of the day. All right, we're good for this one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
And career changers take their LinkedIn profiles from blah to magnetic. Today, let's go over some tips for your profile's experience section, sort of the resume style section of your profile. That area where you describe your current and past roles and accomplishments. Since LinkedIn is a search engine and is also searchable by Google, this is another section where the use of strategic keywords is really important. We've talked about those already for the headline and the about section, but that keyword emphasis continues right in the experience section. So the keywords you use here and elsewhere on your profile determine how often your profile shows up in searches or not. So when filling in your experience section, keep the following in mind. What would your potential client want to know about your products or services? How would they actually search for you? Because the terminology you use for your own industry may not be the same that someone needing your services actually would put into a search engine. Can you quote testimonials or show off visuals of your work? Those can actually be put into your experience section, and it's not often used by most people. Keep your writing concise. Use bullet points instead of long paragraphs, because these days nobody reads a long paragraph. Our attention span is so diverted by all these things crashing in on us every day. So keep it short and concise. Include your contact information in the description of your current role, because if people find you and they are not ready yet to reach out, at least give them your website and maybe a phone number or an email address so they can reach out to you without having to send a connection request. And if you made an industry change, rewrite past employment sections to minimize keywords for which you no longer want to be found for. Add skills specific to what you want to be found for as well. That is another newer feature that LinkedIn added. So to summarize, remember to use keywords strategically on your LinkedIn profile, write in the first person, and speak to your potential clients. If you need help, reach out, and remember to connect with me on LinkedIn for more tips.
Thank you so much, Heike. We are on to our second guest today, Diane. Am I saying this right, Reiner? Reiner, close, sorry. Diane is educated in marketing and has had an extensive career in corporate management. She is Yellow Belt 6 Sigma certified, which she uses to help clients cut costs and waste.
Welcome to the show, Diane. Before we hear about your spectacular job that Diana does with small business owners to improve our Main Street in our towns, let's hear your thoughts on this question, referring when you first started your business. How did you get clients?
Well, it took me 3 years to launch my business. I spent that time really listening to what small business owners were saying.
Mhm.
And of course, that went through the pandemic. And then afterwards, there was a lot of pivoting going on between then. So I had a large LinkedIn following there,
Mhm.
but those aren't the Main Street businesses. They're not in LinkedIn as much as other avenues. So, I was looking at that as one avenue. And then I pivoted myself and figured Instagram is where I'm going to find a lot of the small business owners. So when I started the whole process, I had 142 followers. I started connecting with people that I wanted to be connected with, and then they followed me back.
Mhm.
And I'm over 2,000 now, and they're all my key market. So, where they say about buying leads earlier in the segment,
Yeah.
buying followers on Instagram is not, yes, that'll give you followers,
You're not
but
getting
they're
the target.
not your people.
Yeah.
So-
Absolutely. That is a great, great, great tip. A lot of people want to find that route, but how many of those people are actually going to really find any interest in what you have to say if they're not your key person? So that's great. It's a great tip. Do you want to give us just a little bit of background of your business, and before we move on to question number 2, what you do for the community, what you do for everybody?
Sure. I started Main Street Thrive only because I was seeing a lot of the small businesses closing up shops in small communities. They have the big boxes, but they don't have the businesses that keep the communities going, that sponsor the little league teams, that volunteer for the fire department, and all of those type of things that people don't think about except when they're asking for or need some help with something. So my target market is really that mom and pop business, that Main Street business, because a lot of business coaches will say they're too small. Well, there are too small businesses out there in the US and Canada, and that's kind of who I'm targeting is the same US and Canada, because Canadians are dealing with the same issues that the US businesses are dealing with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I kind of have answered question 2.
What experience can you share with your clients about your work that you do?
So I was in the corporate world for way too many years. I won't say how many, but way too many. I started early. I started at 16. But I also grew up on a farm. So my whole life has been small business, because a farm is small business. At the job I had was working in a corporate setting. So what I'm doing is taking that corporate training, that corporate management, marketing, and taking it down to the small business level. The business owners at that level don't have a large marketing budget.
Nope.
They're looking for new ideas and things like that, how they can change without costing them a lot of money. And that's why I ended up writing this guidebook, is just to give them some ideas. It's self-paced, so they can work on the areas that they need to work on. Or if they need some coaching on it, they can get that too.
And I think that's fantastic, having grown up in the farm area as well. You're just busy. You're busy all the time. It's one thing or another. And then when you're done with the animals and feeding and the cutting of grains, and then you're working on the machine to keep it going. So yeah, that's really relevant.
Entrepreneur all the time. Yeah.
So how can you specifically help businesses with their pain points? What are some specific things you can do?
Well, the main thing is just to identify them. And that's so hard for a small business owner to really look inner to see what needs to be changed or what their pain points are. This may come later, but I always say a tip that I as a coach look at is, how does a customer see your business versus how the business owner sees their business? Because they can be two totally different spectrums. And a lot of times that distance is causing the pain points that the business owners are dealing with.
Very interesting.
Yeah. What makes your business stand out, and why do people love what you do?
I'm affordable. That's in this economy right now. Just finding some help that's affordable is probably the main thing. And I'm also genuine. I also owned a convenience store gas station. So I've done the small business realm. I've had a couple different businesses. One was a telecom business. And, we talked earlier about getting customers. Well, I chuckled because people used to get a phone line and they just expect it to ring. We have a phone number now. It's going to ring. That doesn't happen without doing something extra.
Absolutely true. I want to thank you so much for giving small business owners hope and encouragement to ensuring their dreams come true and their businesses thrive. That's really important, and your focus is on the small businesses, which I love. We do have a page on our website for you. It is theconnectshow.com/Diane Reiner. Do you have any events or special offers you'd like to give to our audience today?
Well, my book is available now digital.
Amazing.
So you can get that on mainstreetthrive.com or Etsy, and it will be eventually on Amazon. But that's available, $59. I made it very affordable for any business. They, for $50, $60, they can find some changes for their business. And then I'm always offering free seminars on different topics. And you can catch those on my website as well. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting us. Okay. What kind of pie do we have for our PIE segment today? Every week. Oh, we're burnt down. Thank you. I was like, it's up. Am I supposed to go? Thank you.
Okay.
Oops, here your thing. There you go. We have to switch John into that. I was like, where are we going? John, what kind of pie do we have for our pie segment today? Every week we celebrate with a small business owner, and we are excited to have a special guest today. But first, here's a quick message from our pie sponsors, Connie's Sweet Treats.
We just had that. You can say that.
He can put it up again. We'll give Connie another shout out. Got it. The new pie segment is a brand new part of the Connect Show, and today is the 4th episode. That means 4 pieces of pie. Just saying.
No diet there.
Pie stands for Partners in Excellence, and every week we are going to eat pie while spending time with excellent partners. We know everyone wants to have a piece of the pie, so don't miss these amazing new segments.
Today, for our pie segment, we have with us John Anderson with their business called Anderson Advisory Group.
Hopefully John didn't eat too much breakfast this morning.
Oh. Well, I definitely had some networking, but I have room for pie before lunch.
Amazing. So in this segment, we're going to ask you, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business, how you got started, maybe something you're celebrating today?
Yeah, well, Anderson Advisory Group, I've been working on this business actually since June of last year. I've been putting it together, working on the business plan, which is a lot of what you guys were talking about today. In order to have a successful business, you got to have a plan. So that's what I've been working on. And it's basically working to advise customer or clients, and then also work on advisory services, consulting and coaching is what I do too. So consulting to talk about the business, how you can build your business or go to the next level or room for improvement, just something where you want more out of your business. And I do that also on a personal level. With my banking experience, I've been in banking over 25 years, and I've had most of the roles that you can have, from consumer to mortgage to even commercial. So with that, I can talk to people and help them get to the next step. One example is I did have a mortgage, I had a realtor that wanted their client to be qualified for a mortgage, and they were not qualified. So I was able to talk to them, get them to the next steps as part of my advisory service.
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You also do something else that really ties into today's questions. Not anywhere it's not to be asked, but tell everyone about your networking group and just to let you bring people together in many, many ways. So I
We
think you
just had a
deserve to
meeting
celebrate that.
this morning. It was it's Milwaukee Breakfast Club. It's NBC Networking. .com, and you can also email it at nbcnetworking@outlook.com.
Amazing.
It's a great networking resource. It's a free group, so it doesn't cost you anything. We don't have all the bylaws and rules and regulations, membership per se. All you have to do is come and bring your appetite.
I love it. I love it. So people can reach you there for your networking, and how about for your advisory?
Yes, it's actually Anderson Advisory Services at outlook.com. is the best way to reach me. I do have a presence now on LinkedIn, but I'm working on improving that as well. I'm brand new and I don't know it all. And one of the things I heard today is it's important to ask for help.
Yes.
And you're going to do that?
I do that a lot.
Amazing. Amazing. I think you deserve the entire pie today for asking for help, right?
Yes.
Well, I will share.
No,
I
everyone will
promise.
yell at me. I'm
And I
joking.
don't need it, I promise.
All right. Join us next week on our show for some more pie, and we're going to start cutting this pie up. And some amazing business owners featuring Orange Hat Publishing, which is just perfect for Halloween. Maybe we might wear some costumes. Tracy's trying to get out of it by not being here next week, but I think, we'll make her put a hat on or something, and John can flip her up on Restream if she's there.
I'll be there.
So you will have to come check it out next week, Tuesday, 10 a.m. Central.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the Today Show. Please help our community grow by reaching out and inviting one person you feel will benefit from being part of the journey. Please like and subscribe if you are on social. This little act goes a long way in our reach. And if you have something you saw, please comment. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
It's time for pie.
Ooh.